Hi everyone! Thanks for joining my talk today. I'm very excited to be back in GatsbyConf 2022 because last year was my very first time giving a talk at the tech conference. So as I'm very thrilled to be back in GatsbyConf again, today I would like to talk about how you can bring your Jamstack projects into the next level with Gatsby.js and Storyblok. But before diving into the main topic itself, let me introduce about myself very quickly. I'm Arisa, originally from Japan, and I work at Storyblok as a developer relations engineer. But besides from my work, I'm a GirlCode ambassador to empower women in tech, as well as teaching front-end at Front-End Foxes School. I also believe in communities, so I have my own Japanese tech community called Lilac with over 90 community members. So as I said earlier, today's talk is going to be about how you can bring your Jamstack projects into the next level with two specific tech stacks. So let me start to tell you why I chose specifically these two tech stacks. Starting from Gatsby. So Gatsby has already quite a lot of features integrated by default, such as Gatsby Cloud to deploy your Gatsby projects on the fly, as well as you will be able to choose from 3 ways of serving your content. For example, SSG by default, or SSR if you want, or even DSG. Moving on to the headless CMS. The reason why I chose Storyblok is because, well, as a developer, I really like the feature of the visual editor because you will be able to see the content change on the fly in the real time. So the other reason I chose Storyblok is because, well, at Storyblok, we have a component-based approach. It means that you will be able to create components and you will be able to even nest these components unlimitedly. So it's a very reusable approach and it will make a lot of work easier. And to get started, of course, I have prepared the GitHub repo for today's talk. So all the demo that you're going to see from now on in this talk is available at this GitHub repository. Alright, so let's jump in. So to get started, you can start to connect your Gatsby project with Storyblok project. And to do that, there are 3 packages you can install. And there is the Gatsby source plugin, which is called Gatsby source Storyblok. So you can register these Gatsby source plugin configuration into the GatsbyConf.js file. And of course, you can swap your token strings to your preview API key token that you can get from Storyblok side. And after that, in this step, we want to make sure that we are able to retrieve the queries or not, right? Because otherwise, even if you code everything like perfectly and create all the necessary components, you wouldn't be able to see the content from the visual editor. So to prevent that, first of all, we want to test it out by outputting an entry name, in this case, home, being displayed in the visual editor. And to do that, there is an IDE provided from Gatsby side, so we can use graphical to test it out which queries are able to be retrieved or not. And from here, as you can see, we can see that our entry name is possible to retrieve. So let's do that. And to do that, first of all, we can call these queries in an index.js file that is under the directory of pages. And after calling these queries, you can store these queries in a prop. In this case, I named this prop as data so that we can reach out to retrieve this name query to display the name of the home. So there you go. Now we were able to output the name of an entry in the visual editor. After that, we are going to create dynamic components. And to do that, we are going to prepare or create a file called dynamiccomponent.js file. This file is going to import the rest of the dynamic component files and then return to display the component in the visual editor. After that, I'm going to create a teaser component file to test it out. So I can create this teaser component file under the directory of components. As you can see in the short video, there is a draft.json file available from Storyblok side. So that in this draft.json file, you're able to take a look at the whole path to reach this headline, which is located inside of the teaser component. And of course, we want to display our teaser field type component being displayed. And to do that, we can import the dynamic component file, the one we just created shortly before, and then return the component in the visual editor. But we haven't yet enabled the full feature of the visual editor, right? We were able to output the content, however, we were not able to take a look at the contents are being edited in real time. And to enable that feature, let me explain you one logic. So this is what's going on and behind the scene. We provide a toolkit called Storyblok JS Bridge, and behind the scene, Storyblok JS Bridge is adding the script tag inside of the body element so that it will be able to communicate through iframe to tell visual editor, hey, there is the click event happened, and that's the script tag that are going to be added. So as you're going to add these script tags, you're going to add this underscore editable properties for each element. And to make all these happen, of course, there's a way to do that. And you can create such kind of features by creating a custom hook. And don't worry about the very details in here. Actually, there is a plan to improve the DX for anyone who are going to test it out, Gatsby and the Storyblok project, or anyone who are already working on these projects. The news I can tell you in here is that our SDK will be able to take care of the hook setup so that you don't have to worry about to write all the source code by yourself. But for a moment, you will be able to take a look at our hands-on blog post tutorial so that all the source code is available. And there you go, full feature of the visual editor is now enabled. And next up, I want to introduce to you how you can generate pages with using File System Route API. File System Route API is provided from Gatsby. We used to create or generate pages through Create Pages API, but if you use this File System Route API, the process would be much easier and it would be more performant. So with using this File System Route API, the step you need to do in here is pretty much easy. You just need to create one file with using this File System Route API system, and then after that you will be able to create entries from Storyblok dashboard on the fly. In this case, I have created the file with naming as, first of all, wrapping with the curly braces, and then store the path to reach the full slug. And there you go. Now I can show you how it's going to be really fast to be able to create an about page content in under 30 seconds. So let's take a look at it together. And there you go. I was able to create an about page in under 30 seconds, and it was very easy. No need to have a complicated configuration from the source code level, as well as for business users to create entries. Alright, we were able to see together how you can bring your Jamstack projects into the next level with Gatsby.js and Storyblok. And of course, there will be the case that you want to advance your skills to see how the localization works, and not only to that, to see how you'll be able to deploy your Gatsby projects into Gatsby Cloud. And you can get access to all these tutorials from these URLs on the slides. And as we say, Storyblok is an API-based headless CMS. You do not have to be binded in one specific technology. In fact, you will be able to combine Storyblok with many more libraries, frameworks, or even languages. And of course, for Gatsby, we have a dedicated technology hub page available. So you will be able to see many more tutorials related to Gatsby. And for today's talk, I have prepared a surprise for you. You will be able to discover the features in the higher plans 3 months. If you have any questions related to my talk or anything related to Storyblok, You can always ask your questions at our official Discord community. Also, after this talk, I will be there to answer your questions for 5 minutes live Q&A. Last but not least, I want to say a huge thank you to my team at Storyblok, because I'm the one talking today, but without the effort from my team and the support from my team, I wouldn't be able to do that. So I really want to say a huge thank you to them, as well as all of you decided to join GatsbyConf, as well as decided to watch my talk today.
Ready for the live Q&A? Let's go.
Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoyed Arisa Fukuzaki's talk there. I know I did. Appreciate everybody who was leaving comments and yes, GIFs in the chat. Those are very hot today, so keep them coming. We're all the speakers and MCs, we're all watching it from behind the scenes. So without further ado, I want to bring up Arisa Fukuzaki now. We're going to do a live Q&A with her about what she just heard about.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Arisa, how are you? Welcome back.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm so happy to be back. Yeah. I can't believe it's been already 1 year since I talked last year.
Exactly 1 year ago today, you were here doing another GatsbyConf talk, and that was our first year doing it. So yeah, you're like the veteran of GatsbyConf, which is a huge honor. So thank you. Thank you for coming back and joining us today.
Yeah.
And for bringing your great talk. This time it was about Gatsby and Storyblok. So I do have some questions for you quickly. I know we don't have a whole lot of time today, but I've got a few questions, and then you'll be around to answer more questions if anyone has it later, right?
Sure. Yeah, of course. I will be around.
All right. This one is a bit self-serving, but we got to cover it. How can we deploy Gatsby projects with Storyblok? And is there a way to deploy them with Gatsby Cloud?
Yes, definitely, 100%. There is the way to deploy your Gatsby and Storyblok project into the Gatsby Cloud. And in fact, I have written a tutorial how you can do it. So definitely you can go and check it. I'm going to make sure later to post in the chat where you can find. So yeah, you can see that in there. And yeah, there's also like the other way to deploy into, let's say, like the other hosting services too. So you have a lot of options because you can simply use the webhook to create the link between, from your Storyblok side and then the Gatsby Cloud or the other hosting services. So yeah, there's the way.
All right, very good. We love options, all about options here. So thank you. And yes, we will be keeping an eye out for you to drop that link later because it sounds like exactly what I just asked for. So that will be great.
Yeah.
So another question for you. When will the new SDK that covers all the custom hook setups from Storyblok be released? Can you tell us?
Great question. Yes, I really was waiting for this question.
Okay, good.
I know that I talked in the talk, and then like people were maybe like wondering like, okay, I don't want to write a bunch of the codes, for like just building some React hook stuff like that. Although it's going to be like you can take a look at all of the example from our GitHub repo, etc. So we are working on right now, first of all, the React SDK, and I can tell for the GatsbyConf people that it's going to be out in a few days. So after that, then I'm going to work on to build or like fix a little bit like something we wanted to improve the DX in our Gatsby's SDK, which is going to be Gatsby source Storyblok. So keep your eyes on, and there's going to be some Twitter posts or like Dev2 blog posts coming up. So I can tell you it's going to be in a few weeks or maybe top 1 month. Yeah.
Okay. So in 1 month, I'm going to tweet at you and ask, hey, where's the SDK if it's not out yet? Is that fair?
You're good. Yeah.
Is that okay? Can we all?
All
mass you? Okay.
You can poke me like, hey, what's going on with the new Gatsby SDK? Yeah.
No pressure though. No pressure.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I know that people are looking forward to it. So another question for you is, how does the e-commerce integration work?
Yeah, so that's another question I get to be asked like quite frequently. So for e-commerce integration, of course, with Gatsby and Storyblok, you can easily do that by enabling one of our plugins that are, for example, like dedicated for Shopify or BigCommerce or commerce tools, syllabus, and many more. So you can check it out, the full documentation available. And yeah, if you want to test it out, you can easily contact us. And yeah, there are some options for, let's say, like higher like paid plan, themes plan, include already like Shopify Plus, the plugin integration, and then the higher like enterprise plan already like you have the options to use all the e-commerce features out there. So simply install the e-commerce plugin, and then yeah, you're good to go. And there's the docs.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, any links that you want to share with us are going to be very much appreciated. So you can drop it in the chat.
Yeah, of course, I will do that. So yeah, I'm going to make sure to do that.
Well, I was going to say, so you can drop them in the chat, but you can also drop them in the workshop that you're doing tomorrow, right?
Yeah, actually,
yes. A lot of links.
Yeah, we're gonna have a workshop with my awesome colleague Facundo. He's from Argentina. So we are gonna host a workshop that how you can learn from the fundamental of the Jamstack with Gatsby and Storyblok. So we're gonna build a blog project together from scratch. So yeah, you can also have some source that for sure I'm gonna share during the workshop. So make sure to join in there. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. And I believe that one kicks off tomorrow around 9 a.m. Pacific. So, and it's a 2-hour workshop?
Yeah, it is 2 hours workshop.
So it's going to be very comprehensive.
It's going to be, yeah, and hands-on.
Excellent. Okay. Well, then that's awesome because it means I do have to say goodbye now, but I get to see you again tomorrow. So it's not as sad as it would have to be. So thank you again so much today for coming and speaking and doing a live Q&A and hanging out and answering questions and dropping links everywhere. Thank you so much, Arisa, and for coming back again for GatsbyConf to speak.
Yeah, thank you, Lacey. I'm very excited for the rest of the talks too and workshop.
Excellent. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone, I have a few previews of what's coming up next. We've got 2 talks coming up starting at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's going to be from Charlene Coy, founder of Decoded Academy. It's simplifying the complex, technical writing. I don't know about you, and I don't mean this as a joke at all. I love technical writing. I think it's really interesting. If you check my profile here on Hubelo, I put that communications is an art, a science, a sport to me. So very much looking forward to that. We also have another talk coming up from Kellen Mace at WP Engine called Supercharge WordPress-powered Gatsby sites with Atlas Content Modeler. I know a lot of people have been asking about that, the Atlas Content Modeler. So if you are interested in that at all, you should definitely check out his talk. Again, both are taking place at 11 a.m. Pacific. So just around the corner, and you can find both of them if you go to the agenda here on Hubelo, click join session, and you'll be joining the session. So I will see you on the flip side in the next talk. I'll be holding the Q&A with Charlene. So thank you so much. Hope you're having fun. If you have a few minutes to spare and don't need to grab a snack or anything, definitely go check out the sponsors. They're in their sponsor booths. They're in the sponsor lounge. You can also take some surveys that we've set up here on Hubelo just for fun. It's interesting. It's also really helpful to us. Some of those, you'll see the ones that are named Gatsby, builds and that sort of thing. It's really helpful to us to know how you're using Gatsby, what you're doing. So do that, and I will see you soon. Bye.